All right, well, I'm going to hit record, and with that transition into our lovely faces, let's welcome back to the Counter-Strike Casuals podcast. Is it episode 27? Are you cracking a beer?
Is it 20? Yeah, man.
Oh,
Is it 27?
it is. Maybe we should start every podcast with you fucking cracking a brewski, mate. That's the best way
Yeah.
to start, isn't it?
Yeah, we should do. Yeah, that's a good shout.
I've got my water,
Let's do it.
and we can just...
You've been so good, mate. Like I think when we started the podcast, you were like, "Let's have a beer, let's have a beer," and now you've not had one for weeks on the podcast, anyway.
No, yeah, I'm trying to cut it back in time for Christmas and the like. I'm gonna let loose a bit of Christmas, and we'll see how it goes. But there you go, mate.
I've got the old Brewdog. I mean, I don't know if they're on the esports scene yet, but if they want to sponsor any podcasts,
Mate, do you
holler
know
at
what?
us.
I'm feel like this could be a plugging podcast. I've got the FaZe t-shirt on, obviously, because we're going to go into the FaZe hype. But this is a knockoff FaZe t-shirt. So if anyone's affiliated with FaZe out there as well, want to send us some actual merch. Who would have thought you could get knockoff esports?
Ask your dad, mate.
Yeah, no, it's weird. Right, that does move us really nicely onto the FaZe hype, right? Which we've got to talk about it. We spoke about it. We touched on it last week. Everyone's talking about it. It's the most obvious thing in Counter-Strike right now to talk about. But they just won the Counter-Strike Asia Championship, the CAC. So, basically, since CS2 has launched, they've won every event they've participated in. So, IEM Sydney first, yeah?
Yeah.
Thunderpick, and
Yeah.
CAC. I'm going to call it CAC because it's just stupid. It's not a stupid
Madness.
name at all, but it's just, through those tournaments, okay, so Sydney, Rain was MVP. They won 100 grand. They beat Mouse, Ents, Vitality, and Navi. Pretty good graveyard of teams there. Thunderpick, which was online. I put in my notes LAN, sorry. I think you know that's online. Sydney was LAN. Thunderpick online. ROPS MVP, 250 grand. They beat VP, Cloud9, Mouse. These aren't the only teams they beat, but these are the notable names I thought I'd mention. And then at the Counter-Strike Asia Championship, which was LAN, ROPS was MVP again. 250 grand. Mouse, Ents, Nip. So in the space of, I don't know, how many months is that? 3 months? They've made 600 grand in winnings.
Yes.
They've beaten any top team, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, who have they not? Who would you say they've not?
No. No, you're right.
Right.
They've beat Vitality, haven't they?
Yeah. That was it. They beat them at Sydney.
Yep.
Navi.
They only faced them that once, but yeah, the Navi I wouldn't say were top team. They beat Cloud9. I think that Cloud9 team. Let's have a quick look. I'm pretty sure that one had Shiro on it. I can't remember.
So
yeah, they've and Mouse, which are number 2 at the minute.
So there's no questions. No question about it. They're the best team in Counter-Strike 2. They've started Counter-Strike 2 era off as the best team. ROPS is probably the best player. Twist did this tweet where he's saying it's time to talk about it. He is the best player. I think it's undeniable at the moment. He's like incredible how good he is.
What was Twist saying? Sorry.
Twist tweeted saying, "I think now's the time to have the conversation. It's clear ROPS is the best player in CS2 or something."
I think in CS2, yeah, you could have that argument, definitely.
Well, the way you can only base it off what we've seen. So again, all of this is so early on in the life scale, on the time scale of CS2. In 10 years' time, we're going to be talking about someone else.
Well,
we haven't seen much of Zywoo, who I think is the other name jumping out at everyone probably when you're having these conversations with Simple not around.
I mean, we can't be, caught in a moment too much because Counter-Strike changes so much. I mean, when you were just, you got your FaZe 2 shit out and you started talking about FaZe, I was thinking it was like a month. No, well, obviously not a month, but maybe three months ago, like literally before CS2 came out, we were like, FaZe are fucked. What they're going to do? Do they need to change it up? And we thought they were done. Like they couldn't win anything. They were getting knocked out early every competition. And now look at them. Like they're on an absolute. I don't even know. Like bull in a china shop. Like just literally destroying everybody. And they're doing well, man. Like props to him. Well,
So just to be for full disclosure and transparency, episode 17, which was 2 months ago, so that's 10 episodes ago. Bloody hell, we are racking these numbers up. Whoever's saying that we don't put in work, if you're listening on any platform and think we don't put in work, we're out here. They are our thumbnail and it says, "Are FaZe fixable?" So the answer was, yes, they're fixable, just bring out a new game. Just change everything. So yeah, you're right. It was only two months ago that we were talking about them being dog water, and now they're unbeatable. They're literally unbeatable. We did say last week on the podcast as well that this Counter-Strike Asia, we said Mouse FaZe final, and I think we said it's FaZe's to lose, which again, it's not exactly bloody rocket science. They just look so good. Yeah, but I watched the final as well, and yeah, they were just quality, so good. And when you're in the flow zone or this flow state, I think Warral calls it, which is a good terminology for this, and we definitely get you get into it when you play a few games or when you're just in that mode and you're really focused in and you're on the highway and you know what you're doing, you're in the game, like everything starts clicking for you. And like they had the luck of timings, they had the luck of just timings is a real big thing I noticed, where someone would peek a corner and turn away, and then Rops would then start peeking the corner or clearing the corner. He's just got his back to him. So those things all kind of fall into place. Fair play to them.
Yeah, I think, I was thinking about it today. Like, why are they smashing it? Why are they doing so well compared to, 2 months ago when we did that last podcast when, we thought, is there a chance where they could come back? And I'll be honest, I always thought there was a world where they could be performing because they are great. They're all individually great players. But the only thing I can think at the moment is the fact that there's this new game out. These guys are so experienced and they've been together so long. I'm not saying they are, but they feel like the most experienced team, in tier 1. And they just seem really comfortable with each other. I mean, maybe it was losing their coach, maybe they went a bit rocky, maybe it was lack of motivation, but it's throwing up a lot of questions now. What's Twist going to do? Is he still going to leave? What are Complexity and FaZe? Are we going to lose one of them? They can't get rid of them, surely. If they made 600k in 3 months, you're not just going to disband that team, are you?
No, I can't. Well, yeah, I no idea what's happening with that, and it'd be interesting to see. But they'd be ludicrous to change it now, right? You just sack Complexity off, wouldn't you?
Yeah, surely. Yeah, I don't know.
If you can keep Twist as well, like you just don't change anything. Let's just see if this can go on to a new era and a new domination period.
So if you were in charge of FaZe and you were going to get rid of someone, it probably would have been Rain, right?
Rain or Brokey, I guess, would be.
And I think Rain has been playing so well. I'm pretty sure after Carrigan, he's the oldest on the team.
Yeah, Rain feels like he's turning into like the Dupree, doesn't he, for FaZe?
Yeah, he's not like, he's obviously not hitting the kind of Rob's score, but he seems to be the pivotal point of like the turning point of the round or the game, should I say. Like he gets some kill from somewhere, or he does, he pushes a smoke or something. And I think there was one game, it might have been the semi-finals versus Ents. They were on nuke and he was in window and he just like literally just flicked someone with a deagle that was near Squeaky or something and just headshots them.
Yeah,
he just pulls something out his ass and it's just like, what the fuck?
Just turns up when you need it most. Yeah, that's what I mean. It feels like a Mr. Consistent or something now. Well, it's all clicking for them, so I'll be intrigued to see what happens. I really hope they can keep it together. I hope they can keep Twist, because it's something about FaZe with them full flow, and that group of players is like quality. And even they're like, when I used to like watch a lot of football or soccer, because I checked the Spotify numbers and we've got a few Americans listen. When we used to watch football and soccer, right, Back in the day, United, yeah, Man United used to be that team that, like, if you could, and Brilly's a United fan, listen, but back when we were kids, they were the team that would, let's say they go 2 or 3-0 down, but they'd always score more. So they'd end up winning 4-3. And you're like, well, of course they're going to win. It's United. It doesn't matter. FaZe are like that. Even when they're going down at the moment in their rounds, they just, I can't remember. There was countless games recently where
The Ents game. I mean,
they were just,
obviously they've got the historic Ents game, but the Ents in the semi-final, that was close.
one of them went to 11 or 12 something and they came back. It might have been that one, but I remember looking, I didn't watch that one, but I was checking it on HLTV on my phone, and every time I check the score, I'm like, fuck, well, this is going to another map, or FaZe are losing it. And yeah, they did it at United and just won more rounds. They're just like, now we'll just win now. Let's just turn it on and concentrate, everyone. So yeah, incredible. Fair play to them. Great to see them back.
Yeah, and I think what's also interesting, it's not just for me. Sometimes when a team's just so dominant like they have been since CS2, for me it gets a little bit boring. But with these guys, it's not, because although they are steamrolling everybody, or most people, it's like, are they going to still be together in a month's time?
Right,
we don't know.
Yeah, so there's an air of mystery.
A bit more interesting, yeah.
Bit of mystery.
It might not last.
Yeah. I feel like we haven't seen much of Na'Vi and Vitality recently, so I am quite intrigued to see, especially Na'Vi now with the new look roster, Vitality with Mezzi in there as well, just to see how that kind of fits in. You know, I don't know. I just feel like it's felt quite comfortable and similar for FaZe with these people they're winning against, other than the Sydney one, which was a bit of a bigger pool of teams. So I am looking forward to seeing a bit of a few more of the top 10 teams playing soon. But let's use that to move on to the Mezzi news. So obviously Mezzi has gone to Vitality. How do you pronounce his name? Joey
Roy.
Is this, Roy. Have I put a J?
Yeah, there is a J in it, but I'm pretty sure it's Roy.
Has gone to Preezy. So, as a fnatic fan, you've had me hyping up FaZe. As a fnatic fan, then, really, what's your how you feeling at the moment? Let's start with that.
Yeah, I feel like we were having this conversation with you 3 months ago about FaZe. They're obviously not great, but they weren't great anyway. So, yeah, it's not a massive loss. Well, it is, but yeah, they weren't great anyway. I do think they will hopefully find their feet, and they'll get a decent roster together. There's rumours of Brolin and Hampus joining. Not super excited about them joining, to be honest. Some people are, some people aren't. I'm not super excited about them joining. Brolin maybe I could live with.
Well, the reason people are saying that is for the Swedish links, isn't it, as well?
Yeah, I think people are saying, oh, they're going to go all Sweden and stuff. If I was Fnatic, I would be looking for another in-game leader, and
so you'd get rid of Dexter.
Yeah, I'd get rid of Dexter. Keep Afro. Maybe probably keep Crims, just because you need the numbers.
You've got no one else, yeah. So you need someone.
I'll just.
So you'd have Crims, Afro, and then you need.
I think Yabi and Stown are going to come over, and those with a decent in-game leader and Afro. Let's go.
I'll be happy with you'd want those little rats. You want those snakes in your team.
Well, I don't know. Like, although I do believe Heroic were telling the truth about what they say, we still haven't heard the side of both stories. So I would like to hear what's going on, because, yeah, we need to hear both sides of the story.
Well. So with these moves away from Fnatic and what's been happening, this Preezy team are looking like the new Heroic, like an all Danish team. Yeah, these
are like one of the teams I could get behind, to be honest. I like these kind of.
I knew you'd be on this. You're deep down a bit of a. There's a few ex-Fnatic players for a start, so you're all over that.
No, I think just the fact that they've got like underdog type team, like they're kind of like what do you call them? Like lost soldiers, like players from different teams that didn't really get any recognition. They've all come together to create this team. I like it. I like the story.
And yeah, Roge and Nikodo's ex-Fanatics, you're always going to have affiliations to them, knowing you. Altex as well. I thought Altex's time at Astralis was okay. I don't think it was that bad. And actually, at the time, I was for him staying and then getting rid of Buzz. But now
I like him. I like Roy.
right.
Nikodos is good as well. Yeah, I like those players. I like Roy, and obviously I liked Mezzi as well. Obviously he's not gone there, but yeah, I liked both of them. It's unfortunate they left.
Yeah, so the Breezy team, yeah, it's looking alright actually, and I'm excited to see them in action. Their first game was against UK's own Endpoint as well, who, if you remember, we watched at Insomnia I-70.
Yeah,
they lost.
Easily the biggest UK team.
Yeah, they're the biggest core UK team, and they lost in the final. We watched to the ex-Raptors. They were Raptors. They're not Raptors anymore. They're organisationless, actually. So we watched them in the semi-final and the final at I-71. Can't remember how it went because we'd had about 1 billion pints.
Oh, yeah, we'd had way too much to drink.
But we were backing Raptors, I think, because of we just wanted the underdog to win. I'm pretty sure. Anyway,
I think I was completely neutral. I think you were. I
think I wanted the underdog. So they beat Endpoint Prees in their first game. Actually, on the back of that, I got intrigued at looking at the HLTV regional rankings, right? Because you used to be able to look at, but you still can look at like the top Danish teams, the top Polish, and they've removed the UK from what I understand. I don't know if that's. You definitely used to be able to look at the UK rankings because it would have like you used to have it Into the Breach first, Endpoint second, Raptors third, a team called Verdant fourth. So I don't know what's happened there, but it looks like the UK has just been wiped off the map at HLTV. So sweet.
Fair enough.
I mean, is that fair enough?
I mean, yeah, I can't blame them.
Well, that's it. You're just going to destroy our whole scene. There must be a reasoning.
Until we're worth talking about. Yeah. See you later.
Well, are we worth
talking about UK?
Okay, so how about if, I don't know, David Beckham, the biggest sports star in the world, his esports organisation acquires a team. Oh wait, they've just acquired the Bad News Eagles roster, which is a Kosovan team, basically.
Not a British team, but yeah.
Well, how does this work? So Guild, who's David Beckham's esports team, based in London. I'm pretty sure they've got facilities in East London, Shoreditch. I think at one point they're in Twickenham Stadium because I remember watching a documentary about them. I think it was them. So anyway, they've got facilities in the UK. Their offices in the UK. You would assume they acquire Bad News Eagles, who have no organisation. You would argue that is a good. Bad News Eagles were very good at CS:GO, right? Do you remember that you liked them at one point quite a bit? They were the kind of underdog killers of like teams and had like really good deep runs in certain tournaments, and they did quite well. But they've been shocking since CS2. By the way, they've done the opposite of a FaZe and not adapted at all to CS2. I think they were 40th in the world recently, and I looked at some of their recent performances. They lost to a team that was 66th called Art Cred. They lost to Endpoint, who we were just talking about, who was 74th in the world, so significantly lower than them. They also lost to a Polish team called Los Kogutos or something, who, despite the name, apparently, according to the HLTV website, are Polish. They didn't even have a rank on their website. It might have been a different roster or the team left, I don't know, but they've not been good in conclusion. So I don't know whether David Beckham's lot just went, we need a Counter-Strike team who in the top 100's not got an organisation, and they just picked the first one that's not got an org, which actually might make sense because I guess if I had loads of money and I just needed a team or wanted a team, I probably would do that myself. But it would have been nice, I think, to have... What I would like to have seen is them maybe starting a new one from scratch with a UK core. That would be
Well, since you brought it up, is there going to be a decent UK CS? Not necessarily team, but maybe group of players. I feel like it's just not going to happen.
It's just Messi on his own.
Yeah.
He's just playing it, bro. I don't know, but I think I would be more excited about this if it was you, if they were trying to build something. And I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't name you the top 5 up and coming UK players, and that might be something you and me probably should and owe it to our nationality or nation to start taking a bit more notice in. But it would have been more exciting if they didn't just acquire basically a Kosovan Counter-Strike team. How does it even work in practice? Do they all just, because in the interview they said, oh, the facilities and everything looks great, so do they just move over to the UK? I don't really know how it works. I have no idea how this works in a practical sense with organisations. For example, if I had
I feel like there's some teams that are based in other countries, but they're branded as a certain country, but they play somewhere else. Like they live somewhere else. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't think they have to live in the country where they're from.
Okay, maybe then. But if I had like loads of money, and I just said, right, I want to acquire whoever, I don't know who's August at the moment, but let's say Bad News Eagles or whatever, and I'm like, right, I've got a big office in like Hertfordshire where I live, and you've all just got to come and move over here and use that. Is that? I don't really. That's what I mean.
No, I don't think.
But
I don't
they
think
were
that's,
talking about the facilities in the interview and saying, oh, facilities
yeah,
look good.
maybe they've just got something over there. So are you saying this guild organization, they're a UK, they have UK teams, like they're all UK teams?
I don't know if their existing teams are. I think. Oh, I didn't want to just. Let me just quickly look. I didn't want to do this while I was looking at. Their other team is. Oh, it's all about. Also,
So they've got a female CS team, haven't they?
Yeah, they've got a female. They've got Counter-Strike 2. They've got FIFA, Fortnite, Valorant, Street Fighter, and Sim Racing. What's Sim Racing? I don't even know what that means. Let's have a look at their Valorant team. I think that's female. No much information there. Fortnite. I don't know.
I think that they literally just now they own the team. They stay where they are. They create a bit of training facilities or somewhere for them to play over there, and they give them a little bit more in terms of coaches and
Resources.
psychologists, and yeah, I think that's what they're doing. I don't think they're going to move them all over to the UK. Really don't.
And I guess if the Eagles have been playing without an organisation, I guess the key's in the word. It's an organisation. So you're probably, it's like you, me, and a couple of the other lads binding together and going, right, boys, we need to practice at this time. But if you're getting paid by a team owned by David Beckham, and I know that might sound a bit like David Beckham, but it's true. I suspect you wake up thinking, God, fucking hell, I've got to kind of get my act together here and focus up. Like, this is the real deal. Do you know what I mean? I know the Bad News Eagles were the real deal before, but when they became organisationless and just 5 guys playing Counter-Strike, I think it's a different mentality. So I suspect we see them performing better. If not, I suspect Guild, well, they're called the Guild Eagles now, also have the resources,
Power.
the power to just find some other talent now, right? And go, right, well, you're out, we've got a bit of money, we can go and get a,
yeah, 100%. They're not just going to be buying a team and letting them run themselves like they were doing.
Yeah.
They're going to want to see profit from this, so they're going to want to see Bad News Eagles in another major, which they've been hitting the majors, and let's face it, that's what all organisers want. Really, they want that stick of money. They want people to be making the majors.
So well, let's see how they get on. I am actually quite excited to see their first match is actually tomorrow, and it's against Preezy. So the new look Preezy
That'd be
team.
interesting. Well, also, I do want to say, like, with you saying these guys have been bad and we've been banging on about FaZe, it is very early days in CS2 terms, so I feel like everything's still a little bit rocky. Well, let's see it settle out and let's see how people get on when CS2 wave has calmed a little bit.
Interesting. I think the Bad News Eagles are one of the teams FaZe used to struggle against as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So maybe they do come back and give them their money. Someone needs to. Yeah. Right. Well, from one bird to another bird, let's talk about the Falcons. This is actually turning into the most coherent, flowing structure I've ever created for one of these things. So I'm loving it. So we'll talk about the Falcons and
Okay, let's go. We didn't talk about these. We just mentioned what was happening, but we hadn't watched the interview, had we? It was on while we were recording last week.
Yeah, exactly that. So we were so we trusted that everyone else was waiting for this podcast as opposed to watching that interview live. But he did the interview with HLTV. The big takeaways from it: it was a very professional interview where they were not. I don't know what I expected. He wasn't going to be like, all right, guys, this is what fucking went down, and it was considered and professional.
Well, it was Zonic before you start. It was Zonic and the CEO of Falcon.
The guy that pays his wage.
Yeah.
So what he said was Vitality offered them less money, so it made sense for him to shop around, start talking to other organisations. So
they suggested it apparently.
Yeah.
What he said as well.
Yeah, but I guess they've got no choice really if they're offering him less. Definitely something going on. You know, if I don't know, you got to accept you've lost him. I mean, if you're going to offer him less money, it's Sonic, right? You can go anywhere. It's just like, well, if you can't.
Well, if I'm honest,
can't afford him.
If I'm honest, I think Vitality are like, right, so we're the top dogs, we're earning decent money, and we're struggling. So I think it would have gone more like, okay, Zonic, we're really struggling at the minute financially. Have a look around. If some other team offers you some ridiculously more money, then and we can't match it, fair enough, you can go. And in swooped the Falcons.
Which is fair enough.
Yeah, got no qualms with that at all. If that's what he wants to do, go for it, man.
Yeah, the other funny thing was obviously them talking about his interview and giving everyone a chance, and then he's just benched everyone, which I think is fair enough as well. I mean, but I don't think you should. This is what I've said.
Everyone's said that though, haven't they? Everyone's saying that.
This is what I'm saying.
It would be nice. It would be nice to. I see both sides of it. I see him. He's saying, "I want to give everyone a chance," but then everyone's been benched. But I also see the side where you want to make your own team, sort of thing. That would be nice as well if you had that opportunity.
Yeah, but don't. This is why weeks ago when this news broke, and I said, just say it's about the money, or if he'd said it from day one. Oh, I've done this because Vitality offered me less money. It's a bit of a piss take, isn't it? Because, I've won everything, so I might as well just go for more money and build a super team. That's like fair enough. And then if he'd got to that team and said, oh, I'm building a super team, so only the best out of this bunch will stay, the rest will go. That's what he should have just done, instead of being all diplomatic and saying, oh, everyone gets a chance, and then like a week later goes, no one gets a chance. Everyone's shit. So yeah, we know that, mate. We could have told you that anyway. Everyone was only saying that Boris is going to be the only player staying, so we don't need to be Zonic to tell you that. The other interesting thing from it was obviously Nico chat, right? And it was interesting to hear the levels that they were willing to go to sign Nico. But more surprising was again that Nico approached them, or
allegedly. Not that anyone's going to sue us, but I just want to point that point out there because I do take a lot from that interview with a pinch of salt.
Really?
Yeah.
yeah, what you think they could just be saying it so it looks less like they didn't get their man. So it looks like we didn't fail on getting Nico. He wanted to come to us, and we just didn't want to pay the money.
Yeah, I just think there's loads of grey areas, especially when you're having conversations like this with people like them. Their CEO, what was his name? Was he a FIFA player or something?
Ex FIFA player. Is that's why you don't trust him, isn't
No, it's just
it?
I guess just because he's a rich businessman. That's why I don't trust him. I just feel like everything they were saying was like, well, it's like anyone, I guess. They're just defending themselves, but it's like you've got loads of money. You're clearly going after a super team, and then they're saying they're not. Then they're saying we don't want people that are just here for the money. We want people that are going to play, and we're not just throwing loads of money about, and we're not just ruining the game by throwing loads of money about. But yeah, you are. That's exactly what you're doing. But I think
I
I'm
think.
quite. Go
Yeah,
on.
go on. No, so you can.
I'm a bit bitter about. I don't like what's happened with, say, football, for example. Obviously, Manchester City have loads of money. You got Chelsea. You got these clubs that come along with loads of money and just win loads of titles. And I just think it has ruined football slightly. I'm not the biggest football fan in the world, but you can see even in like the England team, footballers they some of them might care about football, but you can tell they care a lot less than they did 10, 20 years ago. And that's clearly not going to happen with CS. But
Well, not for the
you could
next
get
10,
to
20
that point.
years.
Because no, but also like the football aspect of it affects the whole world. So they see these footballers so obsessed with money, like all the kids do these days, and now everyone's obsessed with money and fame. And I think that could fall over into other sports that are no way near, like even esports, which obviously are no way near football wages. But if they get a little bit of money, it might go to the heads, and they might start, caring more about fame than they do about the game.
Yeah, well, there's always a danger of that, I think. But I think if you get the right mentality person, like I kind of sometimes don't buy into that completely as well, because I think if you Zonic, I think definitely knows who he should be getting in. Like Magisk, for example, who's brought in. Magisk is going to go there to win. I think you could
Yeah,
just tell that as a person, right?
yeah.
Yeah, he's gone there to get more money. Fine.
No, I'm not. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I think Zonic. I trust Zonic 100%. It's the CEO I don't really, and these big organisations coming in throwing money at players.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm not saying it's going to happen now, but it's a slippery slope.
But I think most of the top tier players, if you brought them into Falcons, regardless of what they get, if they get paid more, double what they get paid at whatever. Nico, for example, double his money at G2 and bring him into Falcons. I still think someone of that mentality and that caliber of skill, from what I've seen anyway as well, in their personalities, they're going to be there to win. Even Simple, who I always dislike, that guy just wants to fucking win. Like, you could pay him twice as much, he's still going to get as aggy if he's losing, because he wants to win so much. I think once you get to that level of
I think
skill,
I agree with you. I think most players are like
but
that now, but in the future, if this escalates, it could go
they've
another
got
way.
enough money anyway, so they don't need, they
I guess also CS isn't that esport. I think with maybe other games like more popular games like Fortnite and whatnot, you might get those kids like, oh, I can make millions playing this game
yeah,
and just playing just to try and make loads of money.
yeah.
But I
Um,
guess if it's not a team game, it doesn't matter too much. They're individuals. Even with boxing now, what you see happening with boxing, it's just like everyone's just after money. So it's like, oh, just fight, fucking,
that's win.
whoever's well known,
Yeah.
just because I can make loads of money doing it. Like it's just fucking boring now.
Well, yeah, fine. So Nico didn't sign. He stayed at G2. Been lots and lots of tweets and rumors that he was using the Falcons as a negotiation tool to get his salary up with G2. He's actually refuted that in a few comments as well and said, like, you're all idiots, that's not what happened. But you'd hope he at least got a bit of a pay rise, otherwise what the fuck was the point in us talking to other organisations? You're just going to annoy your own organisation, so hopefully you got a bit of an
I think
extra.
in terms of that as well, I reckon it could have been his management. And I
Oh
mean, at
really?
the end of the day, like, let's say he had every intention of staying with G2, and his management were like, "You want to stay there?" And he was like, "Yeah, I want to stay here." They're like, "Right, okay. Well,
Be right
you
back.
can stay there, but
Which
yeah,
is
I'm just gonna try and make you some more money." And he's like, "Yeah, fine, go for it. Do whatever you need to do, but I'm staying here." And his management have gone, "Right, okay," and talked to other organisations, and then
yeah.
come back to Vitality and said, "Oh, we've been offered this, this, and this." So then Falcons say, "Oh, Nico's the one that came to us," but really had every intention of staying there. And I know that's what people are saying, and he's saying, "Oh, that's not what happened." But as as a manager of someone, or as even as a player, I know we just talked about money ruining it, but if you can make a bit more money, then go for it. If they can't afford it, then fine, he can stay there and get paid less. But if
If
they can pay more, pay more.
and if what you just said happened, could happen. Sorry, what you said could have happened. Then Yabi and Stam just need to take notice. This is how you do it properly. Nico did it properly.
Yeah, I
no,
want to know what's going on with those
no
boys.
one
Come
hate
over to Fnatic, lads. Come on.
Nico. Danced with the devil, didn't get everyone hating him, and probably ended up with more money at still the second or third best team in the world. So, boys, that's how you do it. There's no fourth, whatever yeah.
Just checked.
Yeah, good. We're on the ball. They were updated yesterday, so that's how up to date we are. The next big thing that came out of it was that G2 bench JKS.
Oh yes.
Well,
how did you feel about this initially when you first heard it? How were you feeling?
I just thought it was
I mean, not that you're going to be like, "Oh, I'm devastated," but
no.
what were your initial thoughts? Were you like, "Nah,
Well,
okay"? Or do you think it's good for them? Do you think it's?
I thought I was shocked. I was a bit shocked because I wouldn't have expected it. I don't think it would have been the move I would think was needed. But the other, so far, it's just been sources. I don't know if it's actually confirmed. HLTV have said it, and it was from sources. And HLTV benched him online, which is usually a pretty good way to go. Pretty
Right.
much
Well,
done. I guess
I think that is confirmed then. So why do teams bench a player before they have a replacement?
Well, he could be going. Another rumor, the rumor mill stirs. He could be leaving for another team, right? He could have done a Nico or a Zonic and said, "Oh, I'm talking to these other people," and they've gone, "All right, well, you're JKS."
As the lowest rated player on the team, that's not too brave, is it?
They're like, "Oh, that's not going to work with us. We just had Nico do this. It's not going to work with you, JKS.
Nico said to JKS, "Oh, this is what I've done."
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had a 10% increase in my wage, so it's like, right, okay.
JKS has gone in there and gone, right, bollocks on the table. I'm leaving. And then G2 have gone, you're benched.
Yeah.
Rip.
But overall, I like JKS.
Oh,
I mean, if they can replace him with someone better, why not? But
mate, they should replace him with Messi. Oh
player.
wait, he's gone to Vitality. Yeah, I think that's JKS, man. I think most teams will take him, so we'll see how that develops. But yeah, who do they get? Who do G2 get instead of him as well now? I mean, who
should have got rid of Huxley and got Cadian in?
Maybe.
Oh no, they can't. Yeah, they could do.
That's the win. And where does JKS go? Where's he gonna go? He's gonna go Falcons as well. I don't know.
He's gonna go Fnatic.
FaZe when Twist leaves. So fuck knows. So interesting. We'll see what happens there. You hinted to me on text that was that a Nico move as well, saying something needs to change, but
they both happened quite close to each other, didn't they?
Yeah.
Unless Nico has said like,
Nico's been really active on Twitter, just being like, everyone's fucking stupid. I have no say in this.
Well, if Nico said we need to improve our team, the organisation's going to go, okay, so you don't want to get rid of your cousin, so we're not going to get rid of Hunter. You don't want rid of Monacy.
Yeah.
You seem happy with your in-game leader, with Huxley, so right, we've got to get rid of JKS then. if Nico hasn't said to them, get rid of JKS, and he's just said we need to improve the roster, then maybe they're just doing it to look like they're doing things. They're looking busy.
Well, that they are. The way things are going at the moment, it'd probably be like JKS is unbenched next week. Anyway. Anything else you want to talk about on zonic, Falcons, Vitality?
I mean, there was a lot, but I feel like it
G2.
was a week ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, time's passed.
Yeah, it was all interesting, but like I say, I take a lot of things with a pinch of salt. I do think Zonic could build a good team. They're gonna throw money at things, but it looks like it's not really working their way.
Yeah.
But if I was a half decent player and I didn't have an organization, I would go there and play for Zonic and good money, because I think they've done a smart move getting a good coach in, because it gives people a reason to go, doesn't it?
Yeah. Okay. So, seeing as we just came from China for the Chinese Asia Cup thing, they also just announced that the second major next year will be in Shanghai. Have you got any feelings, any two ways about that at all? Will you be going to Shanghai to watch?
No, 100% I won't. But
it's the first one in China. So next year it'll be Copenhagen and Shanghai.
I don't know, man. It's so far away from where I think the majority of their audience is. And
well, apparently the audience in China was pretty good. That and Sydney seem to be the two that everyone's quite excited about. Who was there? The talent. Can only rely on the players and the talent, right? Because
yeah, they're going to hype it up either way, aren't they? But let's face it, the majority of the fans are in Europe.
Yeah.
But I guess if they're trying to spread CS around and trying to, drum
spread
up more.
Around.
Yeah.
Spread it seed all around the world.
Coronavirus.
Well, where do we want it next? We want it to come to London, right? I just feel like just bring it to London. That'd be sick. They just had one in London. 2025, they should do London and
Manchester.
Yeah, well, whatever.
You went so quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
Cool. Right, what events have we got next as well? What's the next tournament? The next one is the Blast Premier full final in Copenhagen, which we went to last year. This is actually the one we went to last year, and we watched Heroic win.
Yeah, I want to go.
Mighty have fallen. So we are going to see FaZe, Vitality, Complexity, Na'Vi, Astralis, Cloud9, Nip, and Heroic. Ooh, this is a bit more exciting, I think, right? This is a bit more of a fun pool of teams to watch.
They should have like the lowest ranked team and let couple of the lowest ranked teams and let the public vote them out. Like Nip, they can fuck off. I mean, Heroic now.
No, I'm quite excited to watch.
Oh, Cadian's playing, so yeah, actually, no, I'll change that. But they can fuck
this could
Nip off.
be like a hero arc and they won it last year. They're defending Blast Premier Full champions, whatever. So, Vitality, I want to see a bit of Zyru. I'm quite excited to see Na'Vi with Wonderful. I'm very excited to watch this tournament. I know it's the Blast Banana Cup and it's not taking it seriously to some people, but I'm very excited, and it has a loving place in my heart having actually been there. So I think it's going to be good.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I enjoy watching the Blast tournaments, regardless of what some people may think.
And I think this is a lot harder for FaZe to win, and I don't know if they actually can keep this going into this, because there's a lot more unknowns now with this lineup of people. Cloud9 as well with Boomage back.
Well, their group has Nip is their first game.
So they've won that.
Yeah, and then Cloud9 or Navi, they're going to win that. So they're going to get through the group stages. We know that. And then, yeah.
So FaZe are going to win, basically, is what you're saying. The conclusion here is FaZe are going to win. Yeah,
Vitality there, though. Vitality might show up.
Well, it's Mezzi's first tournament, isn't it? So I don't know if he just slots right in and just starts banging heads, but we'll see. But I actually think that what was I going to say? If FaZe do not win this, but it still means they're the best team in CS2 at the moment, and I don't want me or anyone to go on a downward spiral of thinking that they're in trouble, because that's also what seems to happen in Counter-Strike and what we seem to do.
Yeah, it's a fast-paced world, isn't it?
Yeah. All right. Well, any other business? Anything else you want to touch on at all, or?
No, I think we're done, mate. We're done. We're dusted.
All right. You want to go get you? You're one rank off for getting your rank, so you wanna get killing some heads, don't you? I know what you're turned into me. All right, well listen, thank you again everyone for listening and sharing your time with us. If you don't already like, subscribe, follow, please do. That would greatly
subscribe.
help.
It's easy, just click that button somewhere.
Yeah, man, give us some feedback. Tell us we're pricks. We love it. All right, well thank you for listening. See you guys next week. GG's.
Ciao.